If you want to learn to speak Thai, I'm going to show you the fastest way to do it. A lot of you are asking me about Thai specifically because it's not a language that you can find many materials of. And I finally managed to find a way to create language islands that are pretty decent or at least functional. Maybe it's not, maybe they're not the best materials out there. Maybe it's not the most accurate thing because it's not one of the mainstream languages and translators translating software is not all that accurate. But if it's 95% there, it's good enough to be able to communicate. In any case, when you learn a language to be able to have basic interactions and basic conversations, first thing you need to learn is just survival sentences and later on a few hundred or a few thousand sentences to be able to have conversations. Even if 1 out of 10 is wrong, as long as you're able to say a bunch of stuff, you're much better off than not being able to say anything at all. So again, this might not be super accurate. There might be some mistakes here and there, but it's going to work and it's going to get you to speak. If you go into Thailand, if you're going to spend time there, locals would really appreciate if you speak Thai with them. So this is going to be useful. By the way, this is from the 7 day challenge. It's free if you want to give it a try. Try to learn 150 practical sentences for conversation in 7 days. Thai is now included because a lot of people have been asking me about it. Anyway, how to learn Thai? First problem is, well, that you can't really read this, right? Can you? At least I can't. And the solution here for now is just to avoid it completely. And what we're going to do is this. Instead of that, we're going to use this. This is easier to read, right? Of course, still not easy, but as long as you have audio files, and you will have audio files, you will be able to read this. There's something wrong with my camera here. Anyway, you don't need to see me to understand this. So what we're going to do is we need this anyway because, well, we need audio files. So this is what you need to paste in text to speech software. TTSMaker works for Thai. A lot of text to speech uh, apps and software doesn't work. A lot of them don't work with Thai and languages that are not all that common. This one works. So uh, TTSMaker good with Thai. Again, might not sound supernatural, not supernatural. Might not sound it might not sound like the most natural thing in the world, but it works, all right? So first we get the translation of the sentences you want to be able to say. These are my 150 sentences uh, for the 7 day challenge. The only thing you need to do is just write more and more sentences. Write your language islands. Use this code. TH is for Thai, and once you've written everything, well, written everything and translated it, create audio files. Paste it in TTSMaker or similar, get audio files. Then paste it in some sort of AI. I use ChatGPT, but any other will work probably. And tell it to romanize the text so that you get this. And for learning, we'll use this. Because when you listen to the audio files, I really don't know what's going on with my camera. Anyway, whatever. Um, at least you see my mouse, right? So if you can listen to it while reading this, you will start making sense of the words. And now you just have to learn the sentences. So you start reading while listening and checking the meaning. You do it a few times with the whole list. Then you go sentence by sentence and you memorize the vocab. You don't need to memorize every single word. Look for verbs and nouns and also adjectives if you find them. Like learning languages. And you go to Google Translate, for example, and just you type learning, and whatever you get there, whatever learning means from this sentence, you memorize that one. You create a mnemonic for that. And language or languages, you create a mnemonic for that, and you create a mnemonic for easy. But you don't have to create a mnemonic for each one of these, because a lot of these are probably, for sure, grammar sentences. You don't need to memorize those, right? All of that you learn it in context, and you need lots of reps of just listening while reading, and then you do the same thing with shadowing. Listen while reading, and after a few times of doing it, once you're familiar with the way it sounds, then you start saying it aloud over and over while you hear it. I'm moving my hand here when I'm explaining like an Italian, but you can't see me. So translate, create audio files, create Romanized text, listen while reading over and over again, shadow it over and over again. Um, if you like using mnemonics, and I recommend using mnemonics, memorize the uh, nouns, verbs, and adjectives, and keep reading while listening. And then finally, active recall. So you hide this and you read this in English and you try to say it in Thai and check. Actually, if you take it all the way there, it's going to be hard. So just look here. Welcome. How do I say this? I have no idea. Uh, okay, you didn't. Again, I don't know how it's pronunciation. I don't know Thai. I've been to Thailand. I've been there doing a Muay Thai training camp. Oh, that's in the thumbnail. Is me, by the way. Looking all cool, doing a spinning elbow. And I had a lot of fun. I'll tell stories about Thailand in some other video. I've got some stories, but yeah, I didn't learn much Thai. I was just hanging out with a bunch of Dutch people and training Muay Thai. I didn't really try to learn. I will probably learn next time I go. I definitely want to go at some other time. Maybe not for a fight camp, but just for like fun and cultural experience. Because Thailand's cool. So yeah, you after listening, this is what happens when I don't use a script. I just start rambling because I've got ADHD. So translate, create audio files, you romanize it, read while listening over and over, shadow it over and over, and then you translate. From reading English, try to say it in Thai. Again, after a lot of listening and a lot of shadowing. Reading English, try to say it in Thai, check. And you'll see where you made the mistakes. And you do it with a whole list of sentences, and then you do it again and again and again until you can do it more or less error free and relatively fluently without having to think too much. You do this with a few thousand sentences, and you'll be able to have decent conversations. Well, even with 150 sentences, you learn these sentences, and you'll be able to speak. Well, you'll be able to speak more than 99% of Westerners in Thailand. So locals will be pleasantly surprised already. But if instead of 1,500, 150, you learn 1,500 or 3,000 sentences, you'll be able to have decent conversations. Maybe not understand them if you don't do a lot of listening practice as well, but it definitely be really useful if you do a few thousand sentences of this. This is how you learn Thai. If you want to try the 7-day challenge and learn these sentences for Thai or whatever language, I've got even Basque and Georgian and a bunch of others. Just go check it out. The link is in the description.